Hi students, welcome back. Today we'll be discussing about mood stabilizers. With this topic, I think two more topic is left in CNS, and we'll be finishing off with the unit central nervous system. After that, we'll have a small MCQ kind exam, which will be informed later. The date will be informed later. Mood stabilizers. So, mood stabilizers are medicines or medications that are used in treating mood disorders, which includes bipolar disorder and depression. That is, a person will show two end of a pole. That is, either he will be having features of depression. Once in a day, you will see him in depression, as well as the other side of the pole, that is hyperactivity or maniac. He will be showing maniac features in the other half of the day. So, a person who exhibits both features, either depression or maniac, is known as bipolar disorder. Who exhibit such features are known as bipolar disorder. Now, for example, to tell a film, to be specific, Dhanush in the film 3. I hope you can understand how he shows the features. If few of you haven't watched that movie, please do watch and check out the features what he exhibits in that movie. So, what is bipolar disorder? In simple term, I told you. Now, coming to the term as such, bipolar disorder is otherwise known as maniac depression, is characterized by severe mood swings from high maniac to depressive with depression. These cycles can last for a month at a time and show symptoms of okay, they can last for a month, sometimes 2 to 3 months. Okay, now what are the features that bipolar people can show? One, mania, that is hyperactivity or hyperactive behaviors. Anything you say in a nick of a time, they finish it off fast. Sometimes they show depression, impulsive behaviors, feeling of hopelessness, hallucinations, delusions, lethargy, inability to focus, and impaired judgment. And finally, they also have in the stage of depression, they have suicidal tendencies. That is why in that film I told you, in 3, Dhanush commits suicide himself, or he commits suicide and dies. So in the stage of depression, since he was not under proper medication, or since he was a defaulter, did not take the medicine properly, he went into depressive phase and attempted suicide. Coming to type of bipolar disorders, there are two types of bipolar disorders. Specifically, if you mention, it is type 1 and type 2. Bipolar disorder type 1 is a classic form where the disease in the patient have a periodic episodes of mania and depression. Periodically, 1 month mania, 1 month depression, or in a day they may show both features. While type 2 is a form in which patients do not develop severe mania but go through episodes of hypomania that alternate with milder depression. Where type 2, there is features of mania is not seen, but they show episodes of hypomania that will alternate with milder depression. Another type of bipolar disorder is rapid cycling bipolar disorder, where the patient will exhibit more than 4 maniac or depressive episodes. Depending upon duration and maniac and depressive episodes, we divide bipolar disorders. So there are totally two types. Plus we should add one more, that is rapid cycling bipolar disorder. So these are the features that can be seen in a bipolar disorder patient. If he is in a maniac phase, if 1 month is maniac, it will start. The onset will be before the age of 30 years. Before he turns out 30, the features will be shown. The mood will be elevated, expansive, and irritable. Now the speech will be loud, rapid, punning, rhyming, clenching, and vulgar. That is hyperactive. When a patient becomes hyperactive, what all speeches can be shown, that will be shown by him. Okay, some people will exhibit weight loss, delusion, will be distracted, they will be hyperactive in the maniac phase. Some may experience decreased sleep with flight of ideas will be there, and also they begin suddenly escalates over several days. That is, it begins suddenly പെട്ടെന്നുണ്ടായിട്ട് and it increases day by day within several days. Okay, coming to the depressive mode, in depressive the patient will show there will be previous episodes of Maniac episodes will be there in such patients. ഡിപ്രഷനിലുള്ള പേഷ്യൻസിനൊക്കെ ഡിപ്രഷൻ മാത്രമേ കാണത്തുള്ളൂ. ബട്ട് ബൈപ്പോളറിലുള്ള പേഷ്യൻസ് they will have a previous episode of maniac, then they go into depression. The mood will be dysphoric, depressive, despairing. എല്ലാത്തിനോടൊരു വിരക്തി. They won't have any interest in anything. Okay, decrease interest in pleasure, negative views, എല്ലാം നെഗറ്റീവ് അടിക്കുന്ന ആൾക്കാർ. Okay, then fatigue, decrease appetite with constipation, decrease libido, and here the dangerous part, that is suicidal risk or suicidal tendencies are more in these people, and may be agitated or have movement retardation. Okay, see, these are the features that is usually present in bipolar disorder patients. Now, coming to the medications or types of mood stabilizers, or medications that are used in elevating mood or making the mood or stabilizing the mood. That is why it is mood stabilizers. The first and the foremost drug is lithium. Then we use anticonvulsant medications and antipsychotic medication. Here in this class I will be discussing about lithium because anticonvulsants and antipsychotics were taken in detail in your previous classes. So just I'll mention the names, the usefulness of these medicine in mood stabilizing, etc. We will stress on lithium first. Okay, coming to the goals of bipolar disorders, how we should treat and what should be treated. First one, reduce the residual symptoms. What are symptoms are there that it should be reduced? Prevent maniac or depressive relapse. That is, നമ്മൾ ട്രീറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് കഴിഞ്ഞത് പിന്നെ തിരിച്ചു വരാൻ പാടില്ല. That is what we should do. Our aim should be to prevent the maniac or depressive relapse. Then reduce the frequency of cycling into the next maniac or depressive episode. Frequency, അതിൻ്റെ അളവ് കുറയ്ക്കുക, വരുന്ന number of cycles കുറയ്ക്കാൻ നോക്കുക, and review whether if it is improving or not, and reduce the risk of suicide. That is the most important part, where some patients will stop medication and go into depressive phase where they commit suicide at last. This is seen in both from depression as such as well as in bipolar disorders. Here is the part coming to the first drug, lithium. Now, how long will all these drugs take to work? How much time will these drugs take to work? Now, lithium may take a week or more to begin working. നമ്മളിപ്പോൾ മരുന്ന് കൊടുത്തു എന്ന്, today you start giving the medicine, tomorrow you won't see the effect. It will take at least 1 week or more to start functioning. All these anticonvulsants as well as anti-maniac drugs will take a week to show its action. Okay, anticonvulsants such as valproate and antipsychotics like olanzapine and aripiprazole may work more rapidly to control a maniac episode. I hope you are familiar with these names: antipsychotics, olanzapine. They are the newer antipsychotic, olanzapine, aripiprazole. These drugs and anticonvulsants will work more rapidly, and they can be used in maniac episodes. Now, coming to the mood stabilizer effect, until the mood stabilizer effect takes effect, other medications such as antipsychotics or sedatives are initially used to help control an episode of mania. See, when you start with mood stabilizer, lithium കൊടുക്കുന്നതിന്റെ കൂട്ടത്തിൽ നമ്മൾ സൈഡിൽ കൂടെ antipsychotics, sedatives കൊടുക്കും. Why? To control an episode of mania in them, so that they don't go into an episode of mania. People with bipolar disorder should continue treatment with mood stabilizer for an extended period of time, usually for 2 years, to prevent episodes of ill health, that is relapse വരാതിരിക്കാനായിട്ട്. They don't go back into the earlier episodes. അത് prevent ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് at least 2 years they should continue mood stabilizers. Other medicines may be added when necessary, typically for a shorter period, to treat episodes of mania or depression that break through despite the mood stabilizer. നമ്മൾ mood stabilizer കൊടുത്തോണ്ടിരിക്കുക, if they go into episodes of mania and depression, we can add other medicine at that time. Some people with bipolar disorder do better with combinations of mood stabilizer to prevent episodes of high and low mood. For example, lithium or valproate may be used together with an antipsychotic effect. അതായത് ചിലവർക്ക് നമുക്ക് ഈ 3 കൊടുത്താലും much better result will be given, so we can give. So one thing you should be clear is that any anti-maniac measures, if whatever we give, the effect will not be seen in the next day itself. It will take a week. ഒരു ആഴ്ചയിലുള്ള അവരെ proper what you say, they should be admitted in the hospital, proper review should be taken, we should check, then only you can say, send them home. So review should be there. അപ്പോൾ അവർക്ക് കൊടുത്തു കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ at least 1 week should be they should take the medicines properly to see the effect. Then depending upon the episodes they show, we can add anticonvulsants and the other antipsychotics. So to prevent the episode, I told you maniac അല്ലെങ്കിൽ depressive episode വരാതിരിക്കാനായിട്ട് prevent ചെയ്യാനായിട്ട് we can give the combinations. And these are the steps or things that you should keep in mind while you give an anti-maniac drug. Okay, coming to lithium. Lithium is the first mood stabilizer used in treatment of bipolar disorder. As the name suggests, lithium, it is like a simple ion like our sodium, which is found in table salt, sodium chloride. Lithium as such exists in two forms, that is lithium carbonate and lithium citrate. Lithium carbonate is the one which is found in the oral dosage forms, that is lithium carbonate is available in the intermediate and controlled release capsules and tablets, while another form of lithium that is available in liquid preparation is lithium citrate. Now over the several decades of clinical experience, it was found that lithium shows to be effective in bipolar disorder, but it is not only effective but also helpful in treating mania and preventing relapse of mania and depression in bipolar disorder. It helps, it is used in the treatment of bipolar disorder. It also it prevents the relapse of mania and depression. Okay, so the first mood stabilizer that was used in the treatment of bipolar is lithium, which is a simple ion similar to a sodium chloride, which is found in table salt. Coming to the pharmacological action and mechanism of action, sometimes lithium or mood stabilizer are usually asked as a 3-mark question for you, like short notes പോലെ lithium ചോദിക്കാറുണ്ട്. Now coming to the pharmacological action, it is clinically effective at a plasma range of 0.5 to 1 millimole per liter. That is it is a drug which has a narrow therapeutic index. So if it goes above this, it can go into toxic level. Above 1.5 millimoles per liter, it produces toxic effect, and 1 millimole per liter of lithium can produce many detectable biochemical changes, but it has no psychotropic effects. Okay, the level of lithium in blood or plasma is very important because it has a narrow therapeutic index, and if it goes above that, it will show toxic effects. You should understand these patients should be monitored regularly. A review at regular time interval should be given so that they come at the correct time. We ask some any other features, toxic features കാണിക്കുന്നുണ്ടോ ചോദിക്കണം. നമുക്ക് അവർക്ക് review as a must. Okay, coming to the therapeutic actions. Therapeutic actions means mechanism of action. What is the mechanism of action of lithium? Lithium as such is a monovalent ion. Now it interferes with the ionocetyl triphosphate formation. How and where? It inhibits or blocks the phosphatidyl ionocetyl pathway, where ionocetyl phosphate is hydrolyzed to form ionocetyl. Now this step is required for the regeneration of PI. PI is nothing but phosphatidyl ionocetyl in the membrane after it has been hydrolyzed by agonistic action. Now lithium will cause depletion of membrane PI and will cause accumulation of intracellular ionocetyl phosphate. That will result in inhibition of agonist stimulated ionocetyl triphosphate formation, which requires or which will stimulate the release of calcium through various PI linked receptors. Therefore all these receptors will be blocked and no receptor mediated effect will be caused. എനിക്ക് മനസ്സിലായി, ആർക്കും ഒന്നും മനസ്സിലായില്ല. In simple words പറയുകയാണെങ്കിൽ, lithium will inhibit the phosphatidyl ionocetyl pathway. ഈ പാത്വേ നമ്മുടെ സെൽസിൽ എവിടെ കാണുന്നതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ ഫോർ പ്രൊഡ്യൂസിങ് സെക്കൻഡ് മെസ്സഞ്ചേഴ്സ് IP3DAG ആണ്. ഈ IP3DAG കാരണം നമുക്ക് കാൽഷ്യം റിലീസ്ഡ് ആവും. കാൽഷ്യം ഇസ് റിക്വയർഡ് ഫോർ മെനി റിസെപ്റ്റർ ലിങ്ക്ഡ് ആക്ടിവിറ്റി. അപ്പം ഈ പാത്വേ which pathway ഈ PI pathway blocked ആകുമ്പോഴത്തേക്ക് no release of calcium, no receptor mediated activity takes place. Now when are these receptor mediated activity over? എപ്പോഴാണ് ഇത് ഓവർ ആയിട്ട് ബോഡി കാണുക? ഇൻ മാനിയക് ഫേസിലാണെങ്കിൽ മൾട്ടിപ്പിൾ റിസെപ്റ്റേഴ്സ് ഗെറ്റ് ആക്ടിവേറ്റഡ്. So these are all through this pathway which gets activated. So lithium will go inhibit the phosphatidyl ionocetyl, leading to the accumulation of ionocetyl phosphate and thereby inhibiting the receptor mediated transducting signaling mechanism. This transducting signaling mechanism will be more in maniac phase. Adhe nammal inhibit cheythu kalayana. I hope you got something about it, something, or I hope you got the idea behind the action of lithium. Now in the next slide I will be showing it with the picture so that it becomes much more clearer. Okay, as I mentioned the mechanism of action, this is just a pictorial representation so that it becomes clearer. Okay, നമ്മൾ പറഞ്ഞതെന്ന് വെച്ചാൽ our lithium comes and inhibits the iron acetyl phosphatase PI phosphatidyl inositol pathway. ഈ ഒരു pathway ആണത്. So what will happen is നമ്മുടെ IP3 DAG, IP3 and DAG are second messengers that will help in the release of calcium, and finally with the help of this calcium many other receptor mediated activity takes place. Lithium ഈ ഒരു pathway inhibit ചെയ്യുന്നു. Finally IP3 DAG decrease കാരണം calcium signaling കാണത്തില്ല, and finally all those receptor mediated activity will be decreased. When is this activated in the body? Receptor mediated activity maniac phase il bhayangara koodalaayirikkum. Many receptors will be activated in the maniac phase. So lithium will go inhibit this PI pathway, thereby in decreasing the DAG and IP3, which will decrease the calcium mediating signaling pathway or signal transduction avada korakkiyana. Okay, so the hyperactive neurons involved in the maniac state will be preferentially be affected. അതായത് അതിൻ്റെ ആക്ടിവിറ്റി ഒക്കെ കുറയ്ക്കാൻ പറ്റും when lithium go and inhibit this pathway. I hope ഇപ്പോൾ it is clear what is the action of lithium. Okay, so the lithium will come inhibit the inositol. There is depletion of inositol pathway, depletion of inositol by inhibiting the PI pathway, thereby decreasing IP3 DAG, which are the second messengers. Finally calcium mediated signal transductions are inhibited, and the hyperactive neurons which are involved in the maniac state is preferentially affected, and the phase അല്ലെങ്കിൽ ആ സമയത്തുള്ള features will get decreased. I hope you all understood this part. Coming to the pharmacokinetics and toxicity, as I told you, lithium carbonate. Now lithium carbonates can be given orally 2 or 3 times daily during meals. Often the evening dose will be a higher dose, but sustained release formulation are usually given once in the evening. Now they are usually excreted by the kidney. Half of an oral dosage is excreted within 12 hours, and the remainder that represents the lithium are taken up by the cells and excreted over the next 1 to 2 weeks. This part should be understood. അതായത് പകുതി ഡോസ് 12 മണിക്കൂറിനുള്ളിൽ എക്സ്ക്രീറ്റ് ചെയ്ത് പോകും. ബാക്കി പകുതി will be taken up by the cells and it will be excreted only in the next 1 to 2 weeks. So lithium is accumulated slowly in that 2 weeks before a steady state should be reached. So this part is very important in the pharmacokinetics of lithium. അതായത് ഞാൻ ഒന്നുകൂടി repeat it once again. Half will be excreted out through kidney in 12 hours, while the half will be taken up by the cells, which will get excreted only in 1 to 2 weeks. So നമ്മൾ ഡോസ് കൂടി പോയി കഴിഞ്ഞാൽ they can go into lithium toxicity. Coming to lithium toxicity, lithium therapy requires reaching a plasma concentration of lithium which is relatively very close to the toxic concentration. Now this is a drug which comes under the narrow therapeutic index. So the close monitoring of this drug is required. Now what are the other causes that can lead to lithium toxicity, or small increase in the dose can lead to lithium toxicity? Depletion of sodium, that is, if any condition that can cause decrease in sodium will reduce the rate of excretion of lithium, thereby increasing the reabsorption of lithium from the proximal tubule, leading to toxicity. Then diuretics also have the similar effect as the above, that will act on the proximal convoluted tubule or proximal tubule, leading to reabsorption of the lithium, leading to toxicity. Renal disease also will predispose to lithium toxicity. So these are three. So hyponatremia, or drugs that causing hyponatremia, can lead to reabsorption of lithium. Diuretics and renal disease also predispose to lithium toxicity. Coming to prevention of toxicity, or how to prevent toxicity, lithium toxicity. Okay, first is adequate renal function. They should have proper renal function plus adequate salt and water intake is essential. A decision to initiate lithium therapy should be preceded by a thorough clinical examination and then you should do an evaluation of each patient, including the laboratory parameters, ECG, and a very careful assessment of the renal function. All these should be done before initiating a lithium lithium therapy. Monitoring of the plasma concentration is needed, especially in patients with renal disease. If they are they should be given, that is renal disease ഉള്ളവർക്ക് must ആയിട്ടും കൊടുക്കണമെങ്കിൽ special monitoring of the plasma concentration is required. Then patients who sweat profusely, those who experience diarrhea or vomiting, or with infection or fever causing fluid loss. Coming to the side effects of lithium, I told you since lithium is a narrow therapeutic index drug. So what are the side effects? Nausea, vomiting, diarrhea, trembling. There may be increased thirst sensation or increased need to urinate. Some patient may experience weight gain in the first few months of the use. Some may also show drowsiness. There is a metallic taste in the mouth with abnormality. Some patients may show kidney and thyroid dysfunction. Abnormality in kidney and thyroid dysfunctions. Now, contraindication, where they are contraindicated is renal and cardiovascular diseases. The patient is completely contraindicated. Those who suffer from renal and CVS diseases. Second one are sodium depletion. Third one, dehydration. Fourth one, patients on diuretics, and the patients who are pregnant and lactating mothers. All these conditions are contraindications for lithium. Okay, the second group of drugs that are used along with mood stabilizers includes anticonvulsants. I hope you all have dealt or you have gone through what are anti-epileptics, anticonvulsants, which includes carbamazepine, valproic acid, divaloprex, lamotrigine, gabapentin, topiramate, and oxcarbamazepine. So these are the few names under anticonvulsants or anti-epileptics. Primary use for anti-epileptic for epilepsy, for treatment of epilepsy. They have an additional effect on preventing the relapse or preventing use the treatment of bipolar disorders. Now these medications are more recently being used to treat bipolar disorder. About 40% of the bipolar patients are not helped by lithium or cannot tolerate lithium due to the side effects. Thus we go into an alternative treatment, that is anticonvulsants. Sodium valproate. Coming to anticonvulsants, first drug, sodium valproate. I'll just mention about 2 to 3 words. Why and for what reason it is being used in the treatment of bipolar. Okay. Now valproate is a simple monocarboxylic acid, which is now considered as the first choice of treatment for mania, even over lithium. I told you, as some patients cannot tolerate lithium therapy, we go into the alternative, and among them the first choice is valproate. Actually less effective. When you compare lithium, it is less effective than lithium in treating mania, but it also helps to decrease depression more effectively than lithium. If you compare lithium with its effectiveness, it is less effective, but it helps to decrease depression when compared to lithium. Effective in 71% of patients, and is especially good for treatment of acute mania alone or with antipsychotic medicines. You can combine antipsychotics with along with valproate. Has low toxicity and lacks sedation. Mechanism of action, this will increase the GABA release, or it is a GABA agonist and a weak inhibitor of GABA transaminase and succinic semi-aldehyde dehydrogenase. All these were mentioned in your chapter anti-epileptics. This is just a few sentences. Also it is a glutamate antagonist, plus it is a liver enzyme inhibitor. The next drug, carbamazepine. Carbamazepine is otherwise also known as tegretol or tegretol retard, which is also a effective mood stabilizer as well as in the treatment for epilepsy. Good mood stabilizer as well as good for treating epilepsy. Now this tends to cause more side effects when compared to valproate and is less effective than lithium. But it is usually only used in patients who have been unresponsive to lithium response cheyyatha vyaktikalkku maatram. Those who don't respond to lithium usually are given with carbamazepine. However, it may be better for rapid cycling bipolar illness. In my classification, third classification, this is better. Many people find that carbamazepine causes unwanted side effects, and it can cause interaction with several other medications. So we go into the oxcarbamazepine, which is related to carbamazepine, which has less potential to affect other medication, and so sometimes may be used instead of carbamazepine. Coming to antipsychotics, there are, as you all know, in the chapter when they taught you antipsychotics, two types, typical, atypical. Typical nadil varunadu usually they block the dopamine or D2 postsynaptic receptors. They are divided into phenothiazines, thioxanthines and butorphanones. So the drugs which come under each idu classification matram typical ne under antipsychotics. I think this has been mentioned. Okay, so these are the group of drugs that are used in the treatment of bipolar. Coming to the atypical antipsychotics, which is more commonly used than typical, they have a lower blockade to D2 receptors or does not have any extrapyramidal side effects. Okay, includes clozapine, risperidone, olanzapine, quetiapine, aripiprazole. Now, comparing to typical and atypical, atypical is used because they do not have D2 blockade activity and the extrapyramidal side effects are less. So, if you compare with atypical and typical, we prefer atypical antipsychotics. Now, coming to the side effects of antipsychotics, it also includes sedation, weight gain, and hypotension are also very common to both of them, dry mouth and blurred vision. But with the typical antipsychotics, we have extrapyramidal side effects. Others will include obstructive jaundice with phenothiazine. With clozapine, leucopene is more common, requiring monitoring. Antipsychotic malignant syndrome is rare but potentially dangerous. If it occurs, it is potentially very dangerous. And contraindication includes hypersensitivity, blood dyskaryosis, Parkinson's disease, and severe hypotension. So these are the group of drugs that are used in the treatment of bipolar disorders. First one, lithium. Lithium, you should understand the mechanism of action. Second, the interactions, pharmacokinetics, the interactions, the uses, and lithium toxicity. Then coming to the second group comes antipsychotics, where there is atypical and typical psychotics. Comparing both the atypical and atypical, we go with the atypical because it has lesser D2 activity, blocking activity, and no extrapyramidal side effects. Then the third includes the anticonvulsants. We can give all these either singly or in combination, depending upon the condition of the patients. Okay, thank you.